Right. Hold on, we're live. Can you go to my channel?
Yeah, it says it's live. Hang on, let me.
Unmute yourself. Unmute the stream first. That way you can check if like there's audio coming out from you. Let's see.
Okay, I can hear myself on the thing. Okay, so it's working sort of. I can hear myself at least. So I don't know about the video, but I can hear myself for sure.
Okay, hold on, cause I need to go back to like doing this thing. All right, I think we should be good to go. That was some autism. So,
Yeah, that last one was just oof. Hang on, I'm gonna out-ramsel. Skywalker just asked when I to my question for podcasting.
we're up right now, so if he wants to hop in, like let's
He can't. He can't.
oh. Uh let's see how long it takes, cause it's like we still have like that tonal video to cover.
Yeah, eventually. Let's hope that the fucking audio, at least for the video, works. I suppose we should start all over again then.
Okay, so um fucking so good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. Or wait, no,
Hello there.
I think it's only just the two of us. I don't know. There's not a lot of audio. Not a lot of
I'm
people.
trying to like get some people who are probably watching it earlier back in.
Yeah, I know like I know some people who are from like Rag's server, and yeah, I reposted the link there again.
Yeah, well, I let my server know that it's technical issues going on, and I re-invited. Seems only one person's watching, and that's me. It seems. Oh wait, no, it's two watching now. Apparently.
Huh. Let's see. All right, it's back to normal.
Hooray!
Yeah, yeet boys, we're back. Okay, I finished my coffee and I think I'm adulting properly now. And the audio for
Adulting.
the stream, yeah, adulting is a word. Deal with it. Uh, so like
Well, I thought adulting was like referring to cheating.
that's adultery. Like
Oh,
learn your dictionary, boy. Anyways,
speaking of coffee, I should have one soon, a little later.
I'm surprised you haven't had one at this point. Like, you were up for like what?
I've had a couple, but I've
A couple
it's
already
probably-
since like in the span of 4 hours? Like, you probably might need to take it easy on the coffee.
no, the fucking caffeine isn't working. The block is.
Oh,
I'm gonna make one mix with actual fucking coffee so it works properly this time.
oof. Anyway. So, for
Yeah.
those who-
Anyways, onto Mother Shill's.
yeah, we need to do this again so that people have proper context. So, without further
Alright.
ado,
Yeah,
let's jump into this.
One thing that
Correct.
basically all successful critics have in common is that we're writers, or at least speakers. We kind of have to be. Our job is to take a subjective memory of our experience with art that really only exists inside our heads and translate it into a message that can be understood by other human beings who don't live inside it. You need to
Not exactly.
Okay, I've
Just
already
that first.
covered this, but
Yeah, we've
no.
already covered this before, but it's like
The whole subjective thing, no, that's not what a fucking critic does.
no.
They fucking take their fucking personal bias, look at the video, look at the piece of media, like
No,
from
like
like a set of standards.
you analyze like how the set. You do a breakdown of why something works, or you analyze like the element of an art, and you look at why it works.
Or
Or
why
how
it doesn't, depending on the media.
or how it's executed. Like, you don't just look at a picture and say, "Oh, I think it's pretty." That's like no.
Well, I feel this, therefore I am going to make this fucking critique based on my feelings. What a fucking false dichotomy.
Yeah, that's not how it works. Anyway,
have
I'm
at
so
least
sick of this subjective critic bullshit where they're like, oh guys, everything's subjective. Objectivity doesn't matter.
an above
Hello?
average command of your native tongue to do that effectively. It's a skill that takes a lot of practice to hone, and I'd wager that most of us practiced it by telling, or at least trying to tell, stories. I know I did. I spent a lot of my youth on forums and role-playing threads, diving into my favorite fictional worlds with my original characters, Do Not Steal, and collaborating with other writers to build new worlds. I also spent a lot of time figuring out how to word arguments with people on those forums, and occasionally writing reviews of my favorite video games. These experiences didn't just shape my ability to string a sentence together, though. They also helped to define my tastes, setting a baseline for the aspects of art that I could most easily appreciate, and forming my first critical lens. Obviously, not every critic or video essayist has the same background, but however they come to be good at what they do, that experience is also going to color how they perceive the work of others. It also kind of goes without saying that critics tend to be analytical and logical thinkers. The other part of our jobs is, after all,
Yeah, no shit. They're supposed to be fucking analytical,
it's a
not
given.
logical thinkers. It's literally their fucking job, you dunce.
I like. It's like yeah, it's kind of a given. Why do you?
Although I suppose you wouldn't technically be incorrect in saying, well, some of them, because some critics are like you, Mother Spaceman, seem to think that, well, my feelings are just as valid, so let me use them in this fucking analytical video.
Sorry if you heard that. That was like my phone. I accidentally brought it too close to the mic.
Oof. This is why I fucking hate critics like this guy who just go, guys, we need to use our feelings because fuck being logical and analytical. What are we, critics? Fuck that.
It's like
Who cares about logic and analyzing something?
it's like shh. It doesn't matter if the story doesn't make sense. Just enjoy it.
whoa, look at the pretty spectacle. Oh.
interpreting a causal relationship between the work before us and what we thought and felt as we were experiencing it. Reverse engineering what we perceived in the work to make conclusions about the intent and methods behind it. Without doing this, all we can really offer is a rote description of the experience, at which point you may as well just experience it yourself. If you'll permit me to extrapolate an effect from these causes, I think it only makes sense that critics tend to value stories with beautiful, meaningful language and strong underlying causal logic. We notice
What's beautiful? What does he mean by
What? I
beautiful?
don't fucking know. He's
beautiful
just
language in
spouting
this
random
context.
nonsensical
It's
bullshit with no context.
Yeah,
No.
that's the thing.
What
What
a critic should fucking care about is if the story fucking makes sense or not, and if it works, and that there's not too many damn inconsistencies.
Beautiful in what way? Meaningful to whom?
The beauty and meaningfulness is literally just subjective. It has no fucking basis
That's the thing.
when
isn't it?
analyzing something.
It's like I can appreciate a good story, and it doesn't have to be meaningful to me.
No, guys, if it's not beautiful or meaningful to you, then it's shit.
Like I don't think Lord of the Rings will be is exactly a meaningful story to everyone, but it's like it's still a good story.
It's still one of the best fucking movies, like, trilogies out there.
Yeah.
And enjoy it when events build on each other instead of coming out of nowhere, and when characters behave in a consistent manner that belies underlying complexity in their thought. Likewise, we're sensitive, maybe oversensitive, to logical inconsistencies in how
Okay,
stories.
it just
Wow, it's almost like
I
people
heard that again,
care
it's
about
just-
the story being fucking
like-
consistent or something.
it's like fuck that. Fuck that. What if a movie just has so many inconsistencies that even if you're not as sensitive towards logical inconsistencies, it's like it's kind of there. Like imagine like if you're
No, guys, it doesn't matter. It's just look at the pretty colors, guys.
like imagine if like say you don't really feel water much when it's like only like a few millimeters, like say 1 millimeter deep at least. But then it's like you're on a boat and the boat starts sinking, and then it's like you start feeling, you notice that there's a lot of water. It's like should you are you still oversensitive, or do you just realize that the ship is sinking?
No, your friend just goes, it's just your opinion that the ship is sinking.
That's like
So actually, come on, guys. Don't give us that objective.
Stories are written. And these things are immensely valuable in narrative media. If they weren't, people like me who pick them apart wouldn't have an audience. But they're far from the only valuable aspect of art. And I've come to believe quite strongly that work.
I'm sorry, this
No fucking shit, dumbass. Of course they're not the
this
only
ramen
important
is just
thing.
so-
It just happens to be the most important.
like we're only 2 minutes
If the
in.
writing falls apart, the rest of a fucking film doesn't fucking matter.
Oh, I like how it's like we're 2 minutes in, and it's like we can already spot the tisms in this 26-minute long
Yeah,
video.
pretty much. It didn't take long to notice the tism.
It's just
I mean, it's not no bullshit levels of tism, but
oh. I mean, I'll give him credit. At least he's not shouting sexual harassment. But besides the point.
true.
It's like-
Round table, what the fuck?
Besides the point, it's like nobody's making the argument that visuals don't matter. The whole point is that writing is the main driving force. Like sure, like you have visuals to help you portray your story. But
We only got like 2 people watching this. Unless, hang on, I mean, Oh, no.
yeah,
so I'm just like noticing like for watches.
I mean,
Oh, well,
I've
okay.
got like 4 concurrent viewers going on, so I don't know.
Well, anyways, back to the stupid fucking video in which he's
But it's-
literally making
yeah,
strong.
it's like, essentially what's this? Your story is
I don't
pretty
know,
much
some
like
weeb.
it's like it's the driving force. Without it, your story, you can't really appreciate the visuals as
Now,
much. 'Cause
guys,
it's like
who cares about
there's, like,
logical consistency? It's not like
you look at like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and you know that scene where it's like he jumps off a building and then he does like all that web slinging and going around the city in style and shit.
you're asking the wrong person, buddy. I still haven't seen that. I haven't seen fucking anything. I'm like Jay in
The fuck is wrong with you?
many things.
Anyway,
But
the thing about that scene is it's really like it's a beautiful scene, but there's context to that scene as to why you can appreciate it. And like when you watch it, it's like yes, Miles has finally taken up the mantle of Spider-Man. Like there's context to that scene. You can't just like it's one thing to just enjoy the spectacle of it, but when you understand the context of it, you appreciate it even more. Like you see why writing is such a value part in.
yeah,
like
I
the most
know.
valued
Writing's
aspect
like
in
the
the movie.
integral part. It's literally the fucking like skeleton of like storytelling.
Yeah, just
When it falls apart, so does the rest of the fucking thing.
just
Works that excel in other areas can make up for script writing shortcomings, or even do without good writing altogether. But from what I've seen of
That
No,
no.
we can't do beat without good writing.
The only medium that
Ramsol
doesn't
just
the only medium that doesn't even need a story for it to be good is video games. Because the thing about movies is
Oh, Ramsol's almost ready to do.
because the thing about video games is they have interaction. That's their main point of that's their whole way to immerse. That's their main means of immersing people. Interaction. With movies, you don't get to interact with like the medium as much. It's more of like it tells you a story. And that's how you just
This whole video, I just fucking hate it. It's like only been 2 minutes and 22
you
seconds
were only
in.
like less than 2.5 minutes in.
How long have we been going for?
Let's see.
Oh, well, not too
Practically
long.
5 minutes, thankfully. So
You know, we've only been talking about it for like 16 minutes, and we're only 2 minutes in.
oh yeah, it's 16 minutes. Fuck. Anyway,
I mean, technically,
the
it's been
critical
longer,
landscape,
but
both
anyway, let's go on.
here on YouTube and on sites like Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes, I think a lot of critics end up coloring their own work with a bit.
You rely on
Godzilla, King of the Monsters, doesn't need an original story like all kaiju movies. It only requires awesome monsters, epic fight scenes, and some subtle social commentary.
subtle
No.
social commentary.
Okay, I don't understand the
no.
whole original story thing. Like, okay, maybe it doesn't necessarily need something original, but it needs something fucking good.
Yeah. Also, subtle social commentary.
Oh, you know, fucking humans bad, blah blah blah, we're the problem or something. Environmental terrorist bullshit.
I can't appreciate the term social commentary in this climate. It's like,
These
Bit of
days,
writer's-
it just means like either shoved in politics or just fucking stupid generic. Humans bad. They're evil.
racism bad. Treat women like you would treat men. Then it turns out that you treat men like shit. And it's like, oh, okay, so I treat women like shit now too. Okay.
Its imperfections are compensated by magnificence. Not really. They're not really compensated. It's just
Chauvinism.
that it happens to have some good spec.
It has good. Yeah, let's see.
Overvalues what's critically and intellectually engaging and undervalues things that are harder to quantify, like emotional engagement, aesthetic appeal, and spectacle for the sake of spectacle. The true value of those things can lie in our
One of the rotten ones.
What
jUsT
is the
isn't quite sure whether to wow us with the hulking immensity of the action scenes or to wag his finger at us for the environmental hubris of our species. Humans bad, guys. I want to
Also,
talk
what
about
is,
one of the
like, the
fucking
true
characters in
value?
this fucking movie at some point.
What is the
She's
true
a
value?
fucking cunt.
Because let's be real here, value is
Oh.
practically relative, so you kind of have to define these. You can't just say you can't just use like an adjective and just hope it sticks.
Now, guys, everything is subjective. It's all just your opinion.
critical blind spot. For a long time, it did for me. Part of the reason that this channel started as it did with my What's in an OP videos, where I analyze the cinematography, animation, and editing of anime openings, is that I wanted to push myself outside of my comfort zone as a writer, start covering those blind spots. What better way to do that than to talk about sequences that are carried almost entirely by sight and sound, and poetry in a language that I don't understand. And the reason that I've got so many different series
Hold on.
Oh, so basically,
hold on,
your
hold
content
on.
was actually pretty decent for once.
Hold on. He doesn't really he rarely focuses on the lyrics of like an opening. The only time I've actually seen him do that is like when he was covering the third opening of My Hero Academia.
I haven't watched any of these, so I don't really have any context for them.
So it's like it's really weird how he kind of brings that up, because it's like That's not something you do on an occasional basis. It's not something you do regularly. It's something you do very rarely, if anything.
Why am I looking at Legos?
Legos? Wait, what do you mean?
In the fucking opening, why have I Legos of the characters?
No, that's from Mob Psycho 100.
I know, but why have I like?
This looks more of like a Rubik's Cube, if anything. Like the side of a Rubik's Cube, and then it's like underneath it's just the
Are you
RGB.
looking? Are you at 313?
I'm at 314.
Oh well, I'm looking at like a bunch of like Lego looking versions of the fucking two of the characters.
Let's go back. Let's go back. There, 305. Okay, let's go.
To talk about sequences that are carried almost entirely by sight and sound and poetry in a language that I don't understand. And the reason that I've got so many different series and sub-series here, each discussing anime and other media from
that's
fixed angles, is because I want to keep pushing
but
the
the thing
boundaries
before-
of what I'm comfortable talking about. One thing I've been somewhat reluctant to do is push outside my comfort zone in terms of how I present my ideas. If you're not aware, most of the videos on this channel are pre-scripted, which allows me to present my ideas in the
Yes, the pre-scripted ERs and Nazi video.
Ugh. It's like, I mean, sure. I don't really see what's exactly wrong with scripts. Having scripts, like I use scripts. I mean, most people
Scripts are
often
fine.
Also, most people
It's
use
just
scripts.
that he's like, I use this.
It's
Well,
really,
almost all my videos have pre-scripted.
people care about the argument, honestly.
Why is this avatar a fucking pope?
Or it used to be. Everyone, because I know that was like his Twitter handle, but then now it's not. It's like, anyway.
Why did he think he was the pope of anime?
Ew. Oh yeah, I see it now. I see that Pope thing. Oh. Ew, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
that. What the?
What the fuck? Don't do that. Don't make yourself
Why would you make your avatar a pope?
don't make yourself come off as the end all be all of a certain medium.
I
It's
am
like,
the pope of
like,
anime.
ugh.
I speak it for all,
it's like, oh, that's so cringe.
and I
Just
say
no.
if an ER is an alt-right Nazi because he disagrees with me,
Just don't. Please don't. It's
and I
cringy.
don't like it. Is kind of like this.
the most efficient way possible, but takes away a certain degree of authenticity and freedom of thought that I'd have if I was vlogging. Because it felt appropriate to today's topic, and also I'm very tired and I need to get a video out to appease the YouTube overlords, I decided that it would be worth...
If
Can I just
you're
say something
fucking
quick?
Tired,
Can I just say
take
something
a
quick?
fucking break and script a video when you're not fucking tired.
Can I just say something? Fuck the YouTube overlords. Just
Yeah,
I don't care anymore.
Fuck the algorithm.
I don't care anymore.
Just make the fucking videos in your own terms.
Yeah.
Fuck the algorithm.
Just
Oh, but I
make it
won't
when
make money that way. I don't fucking care. Just make it however you want. Your video is obviously suffering from it if you're making shit.
Also, like, well, assuming that what's this? Assuming that YouTube's AdSense isn't acting like a piece of shit, you can still get like you can still get ad revenue even if like you release a video on like your own terms. Like providing it's
Now,
monetized
guys,
and
we gotta
stuff, but
appease
it's like,
the algorithm because that's the
Also-
only way to make as much money as possible.
Also, this guy has a Patreon. How much does he get in Patreon?
I don't fucking know.
Like where
I don't really. I don't know. If I did start a Patreon, I don't know if it'd really go anywhere. Like, I suppose I could see myself making content when I get a PC, but I don't know.
just he has a let's see.
Yeah,
Okay,
my
let's go to his
Patreon goal would be like something around 900 or something.
Oh, Patreon is down for scheduled maintenance. Well, okay, never mind.
Oh, well, I guess we won't get to know. Well, I guess you ain't getting Patreon.
Okay, that was fun. Thanks.
Right.
Thanks, Patreon. You were really helpful for this stream.
Yep. Good work. Fucking start your maintenance while we're streaming.
And I like how you paused at this frame. It's like
The frame of him blinking. Why does it look like he's, like,
Experimenting
pressing-
and trying something new and going off script. I mean, I'm not entirely off script. I've got notes on my phone that I'm working off of, because if you guys have seen my movie reviews, you know.
nobody cares if you're a script or not.
I don't fucking care.
Who makes these arguments? Who makes these arguments? Script is bad. It's like nobody makes these arguments.
I don't even know what his argument is. It's like, not using a script, and I use a script, and that's fucking what?
People only care like
Be
if
comprehensive.
people only care about what arguments you're making. Like that's the only issue people have. I just...
I wonder how Ramsol's gonna feel about this Tizumi video.
Know that when I go completely off the cuff, it can be a bit of a rambling disaster. I figured that this would be a good way to break out of my usual rigid way of thinking and have a more conversational discussion of these ideas instead of arguing them at you in the...
Okay, I don't fucking care though.
I think it's one thing if it's like you're unscripted and the quality of your arguments change, but I don't... Just because you're unscripted doesn't mean your arguments actually change, or the idea
Shit,
of
Rax
your
doesn't even
arguments
use
change.
a fucking... Rax doesn't even use fucking scripts, and his arguments come out well.
Yeah, I mean with him it's like it's a skill he has, and it's like that also
Oh
just
yeah,
comes off
Rax
from
is
years
like
of
really
practicing.
fucking good, like just talking and discussing stuff and
So-
making arguments.
Yeah, so it's
All
But
of
even-
which I'm pretty shit at, in all.
even then that's like besides the point. It's like just because like you're on the script, or you have like a script, or you don't have a script, it doesn't mean that your arguments automatically change. Like that's besides.
No, because you're literally writing the fucking script, then redrafting it. I mean, if you actually give a damn about your content.
Because the only thing about like the scripts, like the only specific advantage that scripts give you, is that it lets you organize your arguments. And that's the advantage.
Yeah, that's about it.
Like it's still the
It's
same
not like
argument.
you suddenly have
You're
a
not-
different argument when you don't script. Your argument doesn't change. The way you formulate it just...
Yeah, just
form of an essay. So let me know what you think of this approach by leaving a comment and clicking the like button if you like the video. And if you don't, I mean, I'm sure you'll let me know too.
like the only
Oh, yeah.
like the only critique
You'll
that
know
can
in the
actually be
analytics.
given with these kinds of things is that you just have to practice more speaking in like a group or speaking publicly. That's it. That's all.
I kind of just don't care about this fucking part of a video. Just get onto your fucking point, mate.
This is something that I've been thinking about a lot over the last year as a result of my experience watching a few different movies. One of those movies is Edgar Wright's Baby Driver, which if you haven't seen it yet, oh man, you need to. It is one of the most intense and sublime audiovisual experiences that I have had with a movie in a long damn time. The way that movie combines music with visuals to just suck you in is amazing. But it's
Wow, it's almost like it's a fucking movie or something.
I know, right? But let's
Sorry,
hear
but
about.
you
Let's hear about.
literally just gave a description of this is a movie. It did well at being a movie.
It's a little bit flat in terms of how its characters are developed and how its story plays out. It's a very simple movie outside of the phenomenal technical achievement that is everything involved with its direction.
Why does the story have to be complicated? As long as it's good, I don't fucking care.
I mean, Devil May Cry 3 story was relatively simple, and that's still pretty good because it's like, it's how you develop the characters.
Try not to
Like,
spoil too much of that. I'm still, getting through
just
that.
okay, just general basis. Your story can be really simple, but the whole key is to like making your characters develop, or how they develop, how they interact with each other, or what are the why the audience should care about your characters. And that's it.
Pretty much.
Direction. Another one is Detective Pikachu, which is a movie that most critics have acknowledged has a pretty weak script and
Oh, dude, the fucking story of that is, oof. I mean, some things work, but I just thought it was alright. It wasn't anything amazing.
I think the only reason the Detective Pikachu movie got like some popularity was because of like the trailer for the Sonic movie.
Oh, yeah, that. But to be fair, it does do some fan service for, like, the franchise pretty well.
I mean, yeah, especially given like the budget that they have.
Yeah. I thought it was alright. It wasn't perfect or anything. I don't know what Anomaly's going on. It's like, oh, it's terrible, but then again, I haven't really discussed it with Anomaly. I'd have to, like, discuss it with, like, both him and Dimitri at some point.
Anyway,
arguably weak acting too, but that nonetheless was an incredible experience for me because it allowed me to see Pokemon in real life or something.
But they're not in real life. They're all CGI.
and they're all just in a movie. It's like
You don't see Pokemon in real life. You're just seeing them in, like, I don't know,
people are
more
really
realistic looking textures, I suppose.
people are really pushing for like what's this, the fancy graphics for like photorealism thing. And it's like, no, you don't need it for like
just
immersion.
depends on the fucking movie, really. I mean, if it's like a cartoony shit, it doesn't need to be fucking realistic. It just needs to look well and be well written.
It needs to, it's just, you don't need it for immersion. It's like you can still be immersed by like the old Disney movies, and you don't have to think it's real, or it doesn't have to, they don't have to look real by any means. And like you can be immersed in it because it's like the stories are good.
I don't know, Little Mermaid was a little tismy in some of its plot points.
Fair enough, but
Like, lol, I'm just gonna fucking sacrifice my entire fucking life for some random dude who I think looks hot and I don't know.
Anyway,
Close to it for the first
What
time
the
in
hell
my
is this
life.
pregnancy
And the third
thing
one
you
is
speak of?
Masaki Yuasa's Lou Over the Wall.
What do you mean I don't lay eggs?
why is there blood coming out?
Oh no! Wait, why is it there now? What is this weird juices coming out?
It's
Why
so
does your
fucking
dick look so weird?
It's so fucked when you think about it.
There's so many weird shit when you really think about it.
Let's continue with this video.
Let's continue.
Wall, which is another thing that you absolutely need to see, especially if you have any affection for the blending of music and visuals. It's a feast for the eyes, as all Masaki Yuasa products are, that leans very heavily into his obsession with classically styled animation, and that just comes to life with its music. And again, its story isn't the most complex thing. There's a few holes in it, and its characters aren't that well defined. But it was one of my favorite movies that I have seen in a long damn time. All of these movies are. I love all of these movies unambiguously. They're among my favorites that I've...
Okay, that's great, dude. I don't care though.
Can we get to the argument though? Pretty please?
Like, it's great. You like moves. That's sure. I don't care. Move on to an actual argument, please.
seen in the last few years, but all of them have been fairly dinged for having weak scripts. Lou Over the Wall especially is very driven by emotional logic. I'm not a fan of this idea that certain movies you just need to turn your brain off and enjoy, but these movies have all managed to push me into that state, more or less.
Okay.
So you acknowledge that it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Yet you're making an argument that spectacle is more important than writing? I don't get this video.
Or the state that I think that people are describing when they say that. Because I think that these movies do engage my brain, just a different part of it. And understanding how that works, how a film...
Yeah, it's the part that goes, oh, pretty graphics.
I don't see what's wrong with, like, liking a movie for something.
I mean, it's fine to like it.
And still admitting that it's bad. I don't see what's
wrong. I mean, that's the thing he did. He literally admitted, I don't like the fact that movies will try to put people into a mood of turn your brain off. He literally says that, so I'm just so confused.
Yeah, God.
Can get around the logical side of your brain and go straight to your heart is valuable. It's something that I want to get a better grasp on as I work on more criticism of anime and other things.
I suppose, but your logical side still matters, because it's what determines does this actually work as a story.
It does, doesn't it?
The whole argument this video is so fucking weird.
Something that is difficult to put into words for obvious reasons. And in the past, I have certainly not given anime and films the credit.
Hold on, he said something earlier. Let's repeat it a bit quickly.
All right.
There we go.
On more criticism of anime and other things. It's something that is difficult to put into words for
how is it difficult?
Obvious reasons. And in the past,
obvious reasons. Something? Difficult to put
for
into
obvious
words
reasons.
For obvious reasons. I mean, where
want
are
to
those
clarify
obvious
those fucking reasons?
Like, maybe you just need
clarify?
more time. Like, maybe you just need more time to put those things into, to think about what you just experienced.
Shit, take someone like me who needs to it needs a little help, like getting certain ideas across. But when I get it across, I do.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like there are ways. Sure, you might not be able to explain it now, but there's probably ways to bring out and clarify on those ideas. Like, say, rewatching a scene again, or looking up online, looking at, like, say, reviews for references.
Yeah, there are ways to, like, formulate an argument.
And it's like, and also these...
It's not that hard, it just takes time.
Also, obvious reasons. What are these obvious reasons? They're not so obvious.
I don't fucking know, he doesn't fucking clarify. I need to turn off desktop notifications. Why?
I thought you were gonna say you needed to turn off your brain.
What? No. I only do that when when I'm really fucking tired and I stop thinking and
I have certainly not given anime and films the credit they deserve for excelling in areas other than just having good writing. SAO fans will immediately jump on me for that, and to a certain extent I think that's fair. I've been very nitpicky with that show, and I do think that
yeah, because it's fucking
I mean, there's nothing wrong with pointing out how much garbage
yeah, guys, you're just nitpicking. How dare you criticize our sacred cow?
Wait, I thought the sacred cow was Asuna. Oh.
No, guys, it's a show.
Oh.
How dare you criticize SAO?
When you were saying sacred cows, I was thinking of, like, the waifus in the show.
Oh, no. Not unless they're literally a cow girl. But they're more commonly found in doujin. And
Alright, let's go.
There are some fundamentally rotten ideas at the core of how its stories are written. I think that they could be a lot better, and I think that the way that they're written takes away from my emotional enjoyment of that show. But at the same time, maybe it's not meant to be an immersive, fully thought out world that I can inhabit.
no, you can't just go, oh, well, maybe it's just not meant to be well written. Great argument, buddy. Great argument. I'm sure your teacher will give you a fucking A for this. I'm sure.
Who cares about writing?
Yeah, it's like, maybe it's not supposed to be well written.
Oh my god. It's like
What a stupid fucking argument.
for a critic, he sure is willing to push people to get people to make his audience settle on the
Don't
idea
think,
of
just turn your
mediocrity.
brain off.
Like, how ironic.
Yeah, just accept that it's shit.
It's like, hey guys, I'm a critic. I don't think there's anything wrong with mediocrity.
What a terrible fucking critic. You're a fucking idiot, Mother's Basement. Make better.
Maybe that's just meant to be window dressing on a fun adventure where a lot of sword fights happen. If you're enjoying it for that, it's okay to not be bothered by the story not making complete sense. There are
Well, I was for discussing enjoyment, sure, but it still doesn't make fucking sense.
It still doesn't make the story good. Like, it's like,
Exactly.
these things don't bother me. It's like,
Now,
Yeah,
guys, don't think.
it's like if a house is on fire and then you're inside the fire and it's like,
This is
I'm
fun.
I'm fine. I'm not bothered by this. It's like, it doesn't matter
It's
if you're
literally
fine.
just the
If
fucking
it's fine, you're still gonna die if the house is on
cartoon
fire.
of a dog and that. It's literally just a dog going, this is fine.
It's like, it doesn't matter if you think it's fine. The house is still on fire.
Fine, yeah. The plot's still shit. It doesn't matter if you like it. It doesn't change anything.
Yeah. If like you can bring up a good argument as to why you like it or why you think it's good, then go ahead. Because it's like, until then, people will still think the story is shit based on what's presented.
aspects of the show that are absolutely incredible. Like the soundtrack. I've never said a good word about it before, but I could say a lot. It's one of the best in anime. Like, I can hear that main battle theme playing in the back of my head just as I'm talking about it right now. It is...
Yeah, no
look,
one cares.
Max Anarchy has like an amazing soundtrack. It's still not a good game by any means. So I don't see. what
No,
your point
guys,
is.
if a soundtrack is good, it is good.
You ever get suckered by like a good soundtrack to thinking like, oh, something might be good? Like, that's how I
Oh,
felt with
you mean
Max
everyone who played Destiny 2 ever?
Yeah, that's also how I felt about like Anarchy Reigns or the Max Anarchy game. It's like,
I haven't played those.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard that the gameplay
Sorry.
the game had problems, especially with the multiplayer and stuff. It's just
incredible.
I should Destiny 2 is like fucking mediocre, but even its
These are
music.
things that I would like to learn to appreciate more, and things that I like, and things that I don't. I'd like to get away a little bit from story nitpicks. That said, I am currently working on a very long and very detailed review of SAO Alicization.
why
Oh, I'm sure it'll be.
story nitpicks.
Is the
that's-
guy who made the plot holes do don't matter video gonna show up in your video?
It's like, I mean, you haven't provided context as to
The
what's
video
exactly
that took
nitpicky.
him 11 months and 7 rewrites.
Like, what exactly is can you provide examples as to where you have nitpicked? Can you provide examples as to where you're actually critiquing the story?
Nah, he won't. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait for his riveting review. Oh boy, I'm
that
sure it'll be
was
great.
actually supposed to come out today, but it needs a little more time in the tank to be as good as I can possibly make it. And in that, I do pick apart some of the story logic, but I'm trying to get away from that because I think that it's kind of weak criticism that doesn't always...
Wait,
How
why?
is fucking
Why is
picking
it
apart
weak?
the story, pointing out issues in it, weak criticism?
Why?
How?
Why is that bad now? What?
I'm so sick of this fucking.
It's
Oh,
really
it's weak. It's considered weak criticism to criticize the fucking writing. You know, the fundamental part of any fucking piece of media.
Or any story for like that matter. It's like, oh.
Yeah, just any story. The fundamental part is its fucking writing, and you're like, nah, guys, criticizing that's weak. How fucking dare you? So sick of this fucking bullshit.
It's like he's really doubling down on that thing where it's like,
How have our standards gotten so low that we've gotten to a point where it's considered bad to criticize something's writing? What a fucking shit show.
hit at what really does and doesn't work about anime or video games or movies or what have you. Nitpicking stories like that is fun to do, and it's a pretty popular method of criticism. One thing used to justify that laser focus on story consistency.
Oh, the
Justify
popular
that
method.
laser
Maybe
focus.
it's because it's fucking literally just criticism. I'm sorry that you think it's bad to criticize inherent flaws in writing
yeah, that's
and writing in general.
Consistency is this idea that a good story is really the only aspect of a work of art that is guaranteed to stand the test of time. I don't think that necessarily...
It literally fucking is.
yeah.
The visuals will age. The graphics will age.
The music might not be up to everyone's taste. It's like the writing is pretty much the thing that will never age.
Yeah, the writing's the only thing that won't age. And if it falls apart, it's not a good fucking movie. Nor is it a good story. What the fuck kind of
necessarily holds
fucking
much
argument
water, though.
is it?
I mean, film
Why doesn't it hold much water?
The whole much water? Are you fucking kidding me? Fuck off, you fucking dunce!
Hold on, let's replay it again. Ooh.
What the fuck were they teaching you in your fucking art school?
that is guaranteed to stand the test of time. I don't think
Hold on.
that
Wait.
is really the only aspect of a work of art that...
Okay.
Where are you trying to get? Are you trying to get to a point
And
where actually...
the whole
it's a
sentence
pretty
again.
popular method of criticism. One thing used to justify that laser focus on story consistency is this idea that a good story is really the only aspect of a work of art that is guaranteed to stand the test of time. I don't think that necessarily holds much water, though. I mean, film and
Yeah, well, you're
anime
fucking
history
retarded.
is packed full of powerful images that have lasted long past any of the ideas surrounding them.
And they're gonna fucking... they still age.
Yeah,
Eventually, they're
it-
gonna be fucking, like, not look as great.
Yeah, 'cause
Things
it's like
age. You know what doesn't
technology-
fucking age? Writing quality.
Because the thing is, technology advances, and you can have, and eventually we'll get to a point where computer graphics look really look realistic, or it's like, yeah, I can see this as realistic, and it's like the standards for photorealism will increase. So then, eventually, when you look at those, if like say you're from the future, and then you look at those movies of old, or the movies that have come to pass, it's like, yeah, the
He's
graphics
talking
don't
about
look
anime,
really
but
good.
it's still fucking... It's
It
still
applies to
fucking...
anything,
the argument
really.
still holds up.
Yeah, it still
Yeah.
applies to anything really.
Everything
But
will
it's like-
age. I mean, shit, older animes, you can tell they're old. They've aged.
Because the thing with writing is the reason why writing doesn't exactly age, or why writing can stand to the test of time, is when someone reads like the script or reads like a book, they can imagine it to be as pretty as they want it to be, and it's like it's a very subjective thing. And as long as the story is solid, it's like, then people will have an understanding as to how
I
the
think
scene's
the
built
story
up.
is what holds the whole fucking thing together.
Yeah.
And when a story fucking falls apart, the writing, then the whole fucking thing goes to shit. The visuals don't fucking matter when the writing is awful.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the works of Hayao Miyazaki and how many images from his film just stick in your head. To me, the image of Laputa emerging from the clouds is baked into my memory more than almost anything else from anime. And on the film side of things, Stanley Kubrick has written a number of brilliant movie scripts, and they do get quoted a lot. But more than that, the imagery that he's come up with for his films, like The Shining, 2001, A Clockwork Orange, just saying those, I bet you can picture certain shots from those movies, because they're...
I remember more of the script and besides, that's...
The thing is, the script and the writing determines what the fucking visuals will be, because
And here's the thing, he's
the
saying that
visuals are there to support the writing.
And here's the thing, he previously brought up that the script was good, and so the script and visuals are both good. So then
You need to work in tandem for it to actually mean a damn.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid, shitty fucking...
Like, a certain scene can look really pretty.
Fucking shitty ass scene from... What's the word for fucking... Oh yeah, hyperspace kamikaze attack. Oh, it looks pretty. I don't fucking care. It makes no goddamn sense.
I don't remember if I brought it up in this stream or in like the previous stream where just everything went to shit. But I talk about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and I talk.
Yeah, you brought it up in the stream before everything went to shit, where you said basically it worked better because you had the narrative in mind, the writing.
The scene where where Miles Morales really takes up the mantle of Spider-Man. It's a pretty scene, but the scene itself, the scene becomes accentuated when you take into consideration the context as to how he got there. Like, that's what makes it really good. This whole argument is
I
dumb.
hate it. I just fuck, man. I kind of want to just go back to sleep this video, but I'm also too pissed off to.
Our popular culture, those are timeless images, and that's something that film can do without necessarily needing a narrative framework.
What the fuck are you on about? The narrative framework? The visuals are literally there to work with a fucking story, you dumbass.
God.
Do you not understand the concept of fucking writing? The visual part is supposed to work in tandem with the writing. Doesn't just work on its own. Fucking.
You make
move on.
When you're reviewing a game. When you're like reviewing a game, it's really stupid to just take random clips of gameplay footage. Like, what you should look at, like what Matthew Matosis does for his reviews and why they work so well. When he talks about something, he shows gameplay footage revolving around the thing that he's talking about. Like, he shows proof. It's why his reviews work so well.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree with him on the whole, like, past of a whole Isolith thing of, like, the certain characters like Quailag, but even still.
He at least puts effort to showing the proof. It's like,
hey, he puts fucking effort. I like his content. I may not agree with everything he says with certain things, but he fucking puts the fucking work in.
And the visuals.
Well, we got lazy hacks like fucking Mother's Basement going, nah, guys, story doesn't matter, writing doesn't matter, only visuals do.
It's like, don't do that. Ugh, autism.
to support it. And even if
We're
we
still fucking done
ignore
yet.
the aesthetics of shot composition and focus entirely on special effects, which are always getting better and better, and the hardware driving them is always getting better as well. Yes, special effects age, but at the same time, when they're well used, they do stand the test of time. One of the early...
Wow, it's almost like they're fucking working in tandem with the writing or something.
And it's also like they're executing their stuff, the work well.
Yeah.
It's something can be ageless depending on execution.
Excuse me.
But the thing about
Yeah.
But it still holds up that stories will always stand up to the test of time. Because when you read the script, you imagine it in your head. And it can be as realistic as you want it to be, as pretty as you want it to be. Ugh. Just...
earliest examples of CGI in film, Terminator 2, with the liquid metal cyborg. Yeah, it looks a little bit fake right now, but at the same time, the image of the T-1000 melting and changing into all of these different people as it dies still remains in my head. It's still an incredible sequence of film that I think stands the test of time. And the flip side of that is that our ideas are always advancing. Language is always evolving and changing. So writing doesn't necessarily stand the test of time either.
What?
Is he like going, guys, writing doesn't stand the test of time because language changes.
It's like, no.
Fuck right off.
No. Because the problem is, that means that you don't want writing. This is like a kind of argument you'd use to say that, writing always changes. Fuck writing, doesn't matter. I can make my story as shitty as I want it to be. It's like,
And then, in several years to come, it'll be the next Citizen fucking Kane. Writing doesn't matter, guys. Just shove pretty visuals and spectacle.
yeah, it's not like writing will help you present the... It's not like writing will help you bring up the context of the scene. Jesus.
Fuck this video. This is awful.
Frankenstein used to be a cutting-edge, extremely plausible, modern work of sci-fi, and now it's an archaic collection of very well-worn tropes that...
Is Frankenstein sci-fi? I thought it was more of like horror. Or what falls...
Sure is horror. It's no real science fiction. I mean, I guess in some aspects, but it's primarily horror.
Science fiction is a genre of speculative fiction that has been called the literature of ideas. It typically deals with imaginative and futuristic concepts such as advanced science and technology, time travel, parallel universes, fictional worlds, space exploration, and extraterrestrial life. So there's a bit of science to it, but it's the whole thing of...
Primarily fucking horror, isn't it?
Yeah, it's primarily horror. And that's mostly because of like saying the... That's mostly because of like the scientist, Frankenstein, having to deal with the consequences of just creating life from the dead.
Yeah, and it being very tismy.
Like...
And also angry.
What a weird example. And most people don't think that Frankenstein is sci-fi. Like, what is... Where did he get this?
I don't get half of the arguments, and the other half are just fucking terrible. We're not even all the way through. We're like only 11 minutes, yet we spent how long covering this fucking...
Oh,
like,
so
almost
okay.
an hour.
So yeah, technically it is science fiction, but primarily it's gothic and horror fiction. I mean, yeah, I guess it makes sense now, but then it's like, it's still primarily horror, because what was the only science experiment? What was the only science fiction element in that story? The creating Frankenstein and like the painting like the zombie, the monster, and like the female monster. And that's about it.
fits closer into the world of fantasy. It's still very good and
How does it
worth
fit
reading.
into the world of fantasy? It's
The
a fucking
context in
gothic horror story. Ugh, whatever.
which we understand it has changed. And if you want to have some idea of how language evolving can change our enjoyment of great stories, just try to get a modern teenager to read Shakespeare. Shakespeare's stories are still great, and by the way, largely driven by contrivances and coincidences, because that's just how he wrote them, but that's a wholly separate.
Frankenstein, the book, was the first sci-fi horror.
Where is that?
So someone in the comments said it. I don't know if it's a joke or being serious.
It was one of the first hard science fiction. I guess technically, considering that there was that there was that science was used to create the monster, but then it's like it's still primarily
It just
horror.
goes into horror and gothic.
Like, I mean, by that logic, isn't the Invisible Man also like, nah, not Invisible Man, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. No, Dr. Hyde and Mr. Jekyll, right? That could also be considered as like science fiction, but it's still primarily horror.
I don't know. I haven't read those, but I don't really have much to add into it other than I don't understand why you're saying this. Also, Shakespeare's stories, I mean, Romeo and Juliet, I could bring up a numerous amount of issues.
Anyway.
Like the whole contrived, they fucking kill each other because of stupid misunderstandings scene.
And also they're teenagers.
Teenagers are fucking retarded. Now, guys, it totally makes sense because they're teenagers.
Oh.
Point. Everything ages, everything changes. To try to deny that or resist it is folly. But it also highlights one of the greatest functions of art, which is to capture our perception of beauty in one moment in time and preserve it so that in the future people can look back and interpret it through a modern lens. There is...
Hold on.
No,
doesn't that mean that
just,
if you're...
It's just
if it
designed to
preserves
be
a certain
story, isn't it?
If it preserves a certain standards in time, doesn't that mean you still have to make your work as good as you have to make the writing as good as possible?
No, guys, writing, it doesn't matter. Haven't we heard the Pope of anime himself, Mother's Basement, is telling us that writing doesn't matter. Or it must be true, right?
Jesus. I just can't help but think that he practically contradicted his own arguments.
Like, he really does. He the fucking flip-flops constantly.
It's like, okay, other criticism for like, because this is apparently unscripted, right? So another criticism of this, you need to be consistent with your ideas. Like, sure, you may have troubles presenting your ideas, but be consistent with them.
Yeah. The person who made the comment also said, Frankenstein is infused with the elements of a gothic novel and romantic movement. At the same time, it is an early example of science fiction. Brian Aldiss has argued that it should be considered the first true science fiction story because, in contrast to previous stories with fantastical elements resembling those of later science fiction.
Ah, that's a fair point. But it's
like, I suppose. Oh, let's just
actually, when you
on.
think about it, yeah, this. But hold on,
think about
Frankenstein. Because the thing is, Frankenstein came out in like the 1800s, and to this day, it's still considered science fiction. Although, the science fiction may not be as strong as compared to like the science fiction available in today's market. But it's still considered science fiction, right? That means that the definition or the genre that it's fallen under hasn't changed in time. So definitions don't exactly
Well-
change, or it's like it takes a long time for them to
I
change.
suppose. I suppose so. Sorry, I'm just like really fucking tired, and I'm gonna go make that coffee. I suppose you can continue criticizing him while I'm a bit busy, I guess.
All right.
While I talk to a chat.
Maybe I should, yeah, maybe I should talk to chat because, and I think I also forgot to share this thing on like on Twitter. So, you can go take a break while I share this on Twitter. It's a bit late for context, but whatever. So, chat, how are you today? All right, there's only 4 people watching. Whee! Ah. So I didn't realize we were talking for like an hour long. Ah. So much to deconstruct. It's like, oh man, what a way to start off like this stream, because it's like I actually just woke up 15 minutes before the time I was supposed to start streaming. And it's like, oh god, I have to delay the stream. And it's like I was able to delay the stream, but then it's like the first stream just started off like dizzy me because oof. Just though it didn't really bring out the audio of like this watch together and like Mango. And no, I have no bad dude on the screen. I haven't seen King of the Monsters actually. I'm really just watching this video for like the arguments. And it's like Mango watched the movie, so it's like, oh cool. Could you like try to take notes just in case? But thankfully, he didn't really have to bring it, or at least actually now that I think about it, why is it that he's talking, he has like the thumbnail for Godzilla King of the Monsters, but it's like 11 minutes into his 26-minute long video, he hasn't brought up Godzilla at all. So weird. What sorcery is this? Just oof. So, yeah. Bad dude on the screen. I can't really give out my thoughts on like, I can't really give like concrete thoughts on Godzilla King of the Monsters. It's just from what I've been hearing, it's not really good. Like the visuals are pretty, but it's like the story isn't really good. He talks about King of the Monsters in the latter end. Ah, Jesus, we have to go so far into like the video. Yeah, clickbait, Mango, clickbait. Oof. That's just oof. Ah. So also, I just want to give like a heads up. I'm still trying to work on like my Devil May Cry 5 review. It's just my problem right now is I'm talking about the story. It's like I keep on redoing the thing from scratch because it's like I don't feel like the audio in like the story section is good enough. So, but thankfully it's like it'll be like story, gameplay, and then like the conclusion for the video. So hopefully I'll be able to get it done soon. Anyways, so I guess meanwhile, while we're still waiting for like Mango, I guess I'll just push on through like the video for now. Let's just see how it plays out.
Value in spectacles that take our breath away in a moment, and even if they don't necessarily hold up aesthetically over a long period of time, there's still value in looking back at those things and seeing what once wowed people. It's not like something losing its shine means that it loses everything that made it special. There's value in spectacles that can take our breath away and fill us with awe right now. I don't have to explain that to you because you felt it when you've seen a movie.
What? Wait. You don't have to explain it to me? What if I missed out on something? Like, it would be nice if you could explain it. What? Of course you have to explain it.
I'm back.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Mango?
I forgot I was pushed to talk.
So, hold on. I'm going back a bit. Here. 12, 9. Yeah, this will be close enough.
And interpret it.
Watch this bit. Watch this bit.
Alright.
Through a modern
And just
lens.
wait.
There is value in spectacles that take our breath away in a moment, and even if they don't necessarily hold up aesthetically over a long period of time, there's still value in looking back at those things and seeing what once wowed people. It's not like something losing its shine means that it loses everything that made it special. There's value in...
What?
No, just let him go on. Let him go on.
Okay.
I want you to hear this.
Spectacles that can take our breath away and fill us with awe right now. I don't have to explain that to you because you felt it when you've seen a movie, when you've watched an anime, maybe even when you've played a video game. Those things...
I don't have to explain it to you when you felt it.
There's value, guys. There's value. There's value. I don't have to explain to you. There's value.
I don't have to explain it. Everything's subjective. There's no such thing as objectivity. Blah, blah, blah.
It's like, what if you miss out on something? Like, oh man. It's like,
sorry.
Because also when I was talking earlier about how I was taking a long time with like the story section of like my Devil May Cry 5 review. Another reason why, because I was watching like Fox Cade's review of Devil May Cry 5, and he brought up things in like the story that I didn't really notice or didn't really pay much attention to. So then it was because of that.
The guy did that Resident Evil 4 video, isn't he?
Yeah, and it's like because of that, I needed to edit my script because it's like there were things that I missed out. There were things that actually had value to the story, that actually add value to the story. So it's like, oh
yeah, you need
I need to redo it. I need to redo my audio again from like scratch. It's like you have to explain why there's value.
Yeah, you have to explain things. You can't just go, I don't have to explain this in my fucking media criticism video.
It's like if you don't have to explain it, then what's the point of your video?
Yeah, that's the point of a video. There's no point. Fuck this video.
And it's like we're only halfway. He hasn't even talked about Godzilla.
Terrible video, mothers. Yeah, I know. Apparently, it's in the latter end.
Why do you have Godzilla in your thumbnail?
I'm gonna actually be pissed if he talks about it for like 5 seconds or something. Or if he goes,
that
we will
speak
talk
to-
about Godzilla in the next part, like fucking Mark Brown going, we will talk
like,
about the
oh,
secret to
fuck.
Mario's jump.
the back of our brain and that just make us go, oh my gosh, I love that. Even if in the future technology is going to catch up to those things, and that kind of imagery is just going to become commonplace, possibly because of the influence of a film that
It can mean something to you, but it doesn't mean anything to anyone else if you don't explain it.
Exactly.
This is so frustrating.
Wow. What a fucking stupid argument. Oh, it means something to me, but don't let me. But I don't want to explain what it means. Fucking dumbass.
introduces it. That doesn't
Oh
take
god,
away
I have to take some
from
medication.
the value
Oh.
that it has to the people watching it at the time. I feel like that should go without saying, but there have been a lot of
Damn it,
arguments.
Why doesn't it have to go without... How does it not go without saying? Like, even when you have, like, Mahler say stuff that... Oh, it's like, it doesn't go without saying. It's like, he still explains it. And then he concludes it.
He
He
should
uses that as a
explain it.
conclusion.
Makes sense to me. It's just no, guys. We don't have to explain anything in this analytical video.
It's like, it's such a cop-out. Especially when you're a
It's because he's
critic.
too fucking lazy.
You're a
That's
critic.
why he doesn't want to fucking put effort into his work. So fuck it. I don't have to explain it because
It's
fuck
like,
you.
Joff, you're a critic. Your whole job is to explain why there's value in, like, elements of art.
Yeah, you're a cuck, but you're also a critic. I don't care if your fucking wife's like cheating on you. Fucking put effort into your work, you fucking lazy prick.
Jesus. Oh my god.
To the contrary. I bring all of this up for two reasons related to the recently released Godzilla King of the Monsters. The
Finally.
first is
Now we're
that
finally
a lot
getting
of
to it.
critics are dunking on this movie for having too much giant monsters fighting, which seems to be the main thing that
I don't know.
I mean, that's
kinda
a straw
felt like
man
there
in it.
wasn't a whole lot of.
That's a straw
I
man
felt
in
like
of
there wasn't a
itself.
whole lot of it. It's just like it happened every here and then, but mostly it was just the human shit was like taking priority. In
Yeah,
all
it's-
honesty, it seemed like the human shit was just. I was honestly like, wait, so it's like a few fights and like you see a bunch of monsters, most of them who are pointless jobbers who are just there, I guess.
yeah.
Oh look, it's one of the things from the
everybody's
first
going
one.
to see it for, so that criticism rings a little hollow. But at the same time, I saw the movie, and I want you to keep in mind, it was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. When I saw the recently released trailer in theaters, it blew me away, and I was so excited to see this movie, and I walked out of...
I just decided to watch it, honestly. I didn't even like. I was like, oh hey, this looks neat. I'll go watch it, I guess. I mean, I didn't see the trailer. I'm just like, oh hey, it's Godzilla. May as well.
Yeah,
I watched it.
It's like it.
I was kind of like disappointed in all.
It's like a Western take. It's like a Western take
It's
of the
such a
Japanese style.
human-
So it's like, oh, it might be interesting. So
I kind of like watch more of the Japanese like Godzilla movies. But at first I was like, wait, are they gonna literally take the whole Godzilla versus Destroyer plot point of Godzilla fucking dying due to self-destruction at the fucking end with like the whole like he had too much nuclear shit? I mean, he doesn't
Most-
die in the end movie. Like, fucking god, I would have been so fucking annoyed. It's like, oh wow, way to take the fucking thing from one of the main plot points from the Godzilla versus Destroyer movie.
most kaiju fans admit that like the stories in like the Godzilla movies are just shit. But it's like they're so used to it. It's like
I don't actually know. I haven't watched a lot of them. I mean,
it's like
some of them were serviceable. I mean, don't get me wrong. One of them was really fucking stupid. Like, it's just one of the Godzilla movies. It's just pure schlock, and the fucking dub just makes it funnier. It's still so
But
bad.
it's like even then, I still don't see what's wrong with wanting, like even if you expect like a franchise to be shit, I still don't see what's wrong with wanting good writing out of it. Like maybe yeah,
Rapsol still
you can
work.
expect the writing to be shit, but I don't think there's anything wrong with like wanting or criticizing good writing or criticizing the writing, because it's like I go to like my Discord servers, I constantly ask, hey, could you
still
comment
fine
on like my
to
script for like my
criticize work.
reviews? Yeah, could you like criticize my review, the script for my reviews? Because it's like, without that criticism, I don't know what I need to improve. Or that's really anything in general. Without criticism, you don't know how to improve. Like, there's a necessity.
Exactly.
Like, criticism is a necessity.
It's downright necessary. It's like, as you said, if there's no criticism, there's no fucking time or space to improve.
So
if you just give something nothing but praise, it falls apart.
Like, for the most part, in my Devil May Cry review, in my Devil May Cry 5 review and Grim Dawn review, I often praise the games overall. But there are parts where it's like, I bring up, why didn't you do this instead? Or why was this mechanic executed in this way? It's just... Like, I also bring criticism, or like in the Devil May Cry 5 review, my Devil May Cry 5 review, I'm going to be like criticizing like the quote-unquote multiplayer, because it's like the whole purpose of it was like, oh, people are supposed to be, or like when people pass by you, they'll watch you, and it's like you're pressured to do like really good. But then it's like the game itself already pressures you to do good, but through like the style score. So what's the point of having that then? Like, you don't need it, because it's like you already have like the style score improving. You still like have like the style score of Devil May Cry 5 wanting you to do good, especially with like the stylish rank. So it's like just there's no point.
Yeah, like sometimes you just like your voice sort of just like cuts out every now and then.
Sorry. What I'm trying to get at is like the multiplayer, or like the whole thing of like people passing you by. It's not necessary, or it's not really needed, because it's like you already have like the game trying to make you do good through like the style rank system. So it's not necessary.
Well, I don't know. I haven't played it, so, you know, I mean, I'm taking your word for it.
The theater feeling profoundly disappointed with it. And I think a lot of the causes of that disappointment arise from the filmmakers trying to fit this movie into our idea of what a blockbuster movie needs to be. Godzilla has...
Or it could just be that some people weren't happy for writing because it was shit.
Yeah, a lot of people bring that up. It's like, the visuals are good, but the story is shit. I don't see what's wrong with that. I don't see what's wrong with criticizing the movie.
I'm sure
like
some
that.
people still fucking like it in spite of that, even though they recognize the writing is shit. Like, take someone like me. Granted, I don't have all of the flaws in mind, because I've likely missed several.
Yeah, because like,
you
just watched it
give a
once,
rat's
right?
ass about the human shit. Yeah, I only watched it once, and as I said, I haven't like formulated everything about it. Hell, I need to talk
giant
to
monsters
people like more
fighting,
freeing.
including, thankfully, a lot of Godzilla. But it's also got a huge pack of completely useless human characters who say nothing of value for over 2 hours, but also never shut up. And I hate it. Godzilla is the real protagonist of this movie, and when the filmmakers...
Which is fucking weird when you consider the fact that Godzilla started off, like, his first fucking movie ever, he was the antagonist.
You
and
don't
suddenly
call it...
he's some
protagonist
fucking
is
good
not
guy?
Protagonist is not the right word I'd use to describe Godzilla. He's the titular character.
He just sort of does what he wants, really.
He's not the protagonist. He's like the titular character. Like, look at like Katekyo Hitman Reborn. Reborn isn't like the protagonist of the series. He's the titular character. That's the proper term we're supposed to be aiming for, not protagonist. Why protagonist?
Because Godzilla is the hero of his story. You know, even though he has the capability to fucking murder everyone if he's so fucking pleased. And has done in the past.
Yeah.
On that as their vision, it is breathtaking. But the film just doesn't give it room to breathe. It was obviously edited and reshot a lot after test screenings.
I'll give you credit. The human stuff just felt fucking pointless, and like I really do. Like
You could have had just like
Here's a-
minor scenes
here's a
that
fucking
built up
idea.
to the monster fights.
It's
It's
a
like,
fucking idea for a Godzilla movie. How about you focus like nothing on the humans and like try to like work drama between the monsters?
yeah, and at the very least,
That'd
like,
be
have-
fucking something interesting.
you make it build up as to why these fights exist.
Yeah, like the whole like motivation of like why Godzilla's fighting Ghidorah. The only thing we have is Ghidorah's trying to take his fucking spot as top dog, but it's just.
It's like, why do you care? Why do you care about who's on the top? Why do you care who's on the top? It's like all the monsters are capable of destroying the fucking world anyway. It's it's like, why should the audience care?
Which said that it had a whole bunch of completely uninterrupted kaiju fights. There's a lot of scenes that take place within a helicarrier, a marine base, and a few other interior scenes that could be any generic sci-fi command deck that were obviously filmed on a soundstage in a very short period of time in order to pad out the movie and explain things that people didn't get when they just watched it. And those
Hold on. If he was bringing up like, oh, the movie mostly had like human drama, shouldn't you criticize the movie for that? Isn't that fair? Because
yeah,
like,
you can criticize it.
It's like you add in the human drama.
Like it, so why are you trying to defend this fucking film?
You add in the human drama, and it doesn't work. You should. I think that criticism is
point
fair.
that out. Call it out.
Yeah, like they tried
Just
to add it, and it
doesn't
fell flat on
work.
its face, so it deserves the criticism. It's like, what's wrong with that?
Okay, hang on. Let me like discuss this one fucking character from this film. Emma, I think her name was. Okay, so for one thing, she decides to bring her fucking daughter along for all these fucking science experiments with fucking kaiju. Because, you know, that's totally a smart and responsible thing for a parent to do. Bring your fucking child along for kaiju experiments. Then, fucking, like, she literally fucking presses the button to wake up King Ghidorah. And her whole fucking justification for doing it, because it turns out it's intentional. At first I thought she was just fucking retarded, but, I mean, I was right, but it was for a completely different fucking reason that she was fucking retarded. So she goes like, oh, humans have a fucking infection, and the kaiju are there to get rid of it and save the planet. It's like literally word for word the fucking like whole weapons from Final Fantasy VII. You know, the giant fucking monster things. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. She
Cad?
sounds like Sephiroth. Yeah, she sounds like Sephiroth.
No, not exactly, because Sephiroth just wanted to fucking take over the fucking planet, but she just wants to fucking bring the planet to its rightful rulers.
It's a human.
And then it all blows up in her fucking face, because it turns out Ghidorah's a fucking alien. Like, maybe you should have done a bit more fucking research on it before you fucking decide to release it.
Anyway.
Drag the whole movie down. I didn't necessarily see this movie purely for the sake of seeing giant monsters come to life in front of me. What sold me on it was these shots in the trailer that are basically Renaissance paintings of kaiju descending from the heavens as gods reclaiming the earth. And that imagery is what I wanted to just soak in when I came to see this movie. More than the scale destruction.
That fucking hand touching that fucking hand touching Godzilla in that one fucking shot of a trailer. That's the fucking Asian dude fucking like setting off a nuclear bomb to fucking rejuvenate Godzilla. And he fucking dies for it.
Asian man's the
Asian
hero.
man dies. He literally says to Godzilla as Godzilla opens his fucking eye looking at him, "Goodbye, old friend." Like, have these two fucking actually talked to each other before?
Does Godzilla make friends with humans?
Like, okay. Like, maybe Junior, but not the fucking first one. To be fair, this guy looks nothing like either of them.
Kind of seen in Pacific Rim and the earlier Godzilla and the Michael Bay Transformers movies. That was what put my ass in the theater as somebody who is a casual Godzilla fan, not a hardcore Godzilla fan. And I feel like I was sold a bill of goods on that by the trailer, because those shots are in the movie, but they're there.
Yeah, well, most of the fucking kaiju in this fucking film just don't do anything. They just, like, the only ones that do anything are Godzilla, King Ghidorah, Mothra, and Rodan. All the others, they're just jobbers. They just fucking wreak havoc in a couple of places, stop for a bit, and then they fucking go around, circle around Godzilla and fucking battle in the end.
Oh,
That's
hey, Dark
it.
Glove. No, we're still covering Mother Shillment.
Oh, Dark Wife. Oh, Morty's in the stream.
Oh, sorry, the Dark Glaive. Yeah. Yeah, we're still covering Mother Shillment.
Yep.
Anyway. On to the
We're
video.
still covering him, don't worry, buddy.
On to the video.
For all of 5 seconds. It's edited in a very fast-paced way, where there's a new shot every few seconds. A lot of those shots are interior shots of people just reacting to what we've just seen and explaining it as though we couldn't understand it from the beautiful visual storytelling. This really strikes me as one of those movies where the film executives thought very lowly of their audiences and were like, well, that confused me, and if I was confused, then the people seeing this movie will be confused. So we need to have Ken Watanabe and a bunch of other A-list actors explain everything to the audience like they're
Hold on. Are there really, like, people who just unironically think, oh, I want to make people that literally confuses them, to make movies that literally confuses the audience?
Oh yeah, great job. I mean, it's like so fucking stupid. It's like our audience doesn't have a brain. Let's just fucking have these shitty characters explain everything to everyone. Meanwhile, the person sitting next to me is going on about kaiju and kaiju action.
Oof. Imagine just being that much of a dick. It's like, ooh, I want to make a movie that nobody will be able to understand.
Great fucking job, guys. Great fucking job. Just make a simple movie about monsters fucking beating the shit out of each other because of personal reasons or like actual like investment. Like shit. They should have like, instead of focusing on the stupid human shit, they should have focused on, you know, like building up Godzilla's and Ghidorah's like animosity towards each other. It's just sort of there.
Yeah, just give us a reason why to care about it.
Apparently, like I get it's like they're rivals ever since they fucking like Ghidorah first showed up or something. But
why
like,
are they rivals? How did this whole thing start?
I don't know. I haven't watched the first fucking movie for Ghidorah. I haven't watched a lot of them. I know like certain plot points for like certain movies, like
Hold on,
the
this
whole
is supposed to be
Godzilla
like a
versus
sequel?
Destroyer.
This is supposed to be like a sequel to like to the older Godzilla movies?
It's a sequel to the fucking 2014 one, and also some King Kong movie.
Oh. Okay.
Because Ghidorah, if this was a sequel to all of the older ones, then everyone would fucking know who Ghidorah is. Ghidorah's caused havoc before in the other timeline.
that the movie would have confidence in the incredible, breathtaking imagery that it's presenting and just let it speak for itself and slow things down to let that happen instead of constantly cutting away from it. And don't get me wrong, it is a very visceral and exciting film to watch, and if you are a big fan of Godzilla and these other kaiju, and you want to see them come to life in a way that you've never seen them come to life before, you're going to be very satisfied with that. But at the same time, and I can't emphasize this enough, it's got some of the most jaw-dropping, smack you in the face, come over here and fuck me right now, gorgeous images in the history of film. And I don't
know about the most gorgeous images in the history of film. I mean, Granted, beauty is in the eye of a beholder, and as we fucking learn, this is one of our subjective critics.
Also, you can have look at like the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's like
Dude, that thing
the movies
still
have like
fucking holds
beautiful.
up.
Yeah, the movie still has like beautiful shots, and it's like the story is still comprehensible. It's like you understand what the stakes are. You understand why certain events have happened the way they did. It's just this seems to be like a push for mediocrity, really.
It really is. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, how about we just like have good fucking writing along with the whole monster stuff?
Yeah, I don't see why they have to be mutually exclusive.
Like, you can have like good writing. Like, fuck, I'd like. Here's what I'd be like interested in seeing. How about a fucking Godzilla movie that like focuses almost purely on the monsters and their motivations? And
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
wouldn't that work fucking better?
I think it would.
Yeah, it'd be interesting too, because they can't fucking talk, so you know,
Yeah, you just rely on like the visuals.
getting their fucking motivation, yeah. And it'd be
it's not
fucking
like-
great, but
It's not like you can still
to
have the
focus on
writing.
this stupid human bullshit and
It's not like you can't have the writing be portrayed through the visuals. Well, I mean, actually,
Yeah,
that's kind of what
exactly.
movies do, don't they? You need the visuals.
Yeah,
to
that's what
portray
they
your
do.
story.
so the fucking mama's basement argument falls apart fundamentally because like writing is literally interpreted through visuals. You fucking dumbass.
Wish that it would leave them on screen long enough that I can appreciate them. And the real kick in the teeth is that the film could have both. It could have the visceral, exciting, down in the street Godzilla towering above you, scale shock shots that it has, and this explosive, fast editing that makes it really exciting. And it could have these slow moments where you just sit in awe.
I'm sorry, what's with these fucking Philip DeFranco ass hand gestures?
Yeah.
Like,
I
you
don't
don't
know.
need to move your fucking hands every 5 fucking seconds for emphasis.
I think it's just out of a habit thing. I also do that, but it's
Voice
like, I
tone is a thing. I know it's not like really important. It's just it's more of a nitpick, but it's
I also
fucking
do that.
so
I
annoying.
also do that a lot when I record audio. But the thing is, the difference is I just don't record myself. I don't have like a webcam capturing that hand motion.
True. It's like you have voice. You could like whatever.
You can just like not present.
It's a
not present
nitpick,
yourself.
really, but it's really annoying.
I mean, yeah, you can just not present yourself in a webcam at all. Like I don't do that. Matthew Matosis doesn't do that, and it's like his videos are still good.
Shit, I'd probably just use a little avatar.
Awe at the majesty of King Ghidorah and Mothra and Godzilla and Rodan, but it slices those moments down to be as fast as possible in order to cram in more and more and more bullshit that I don't care about, and that I don't think anybody seeing this movie cares about, and that I don't think anybody who was working on this movie really cares about either. Now, a big part of this
Hold on. If they didn't care about it, why did they add it into the movie? Like, if the crew didn't care about it, why did they add it into the movie? Like, yeah, it can be made. An argument.
They
can
didn't
be
care
made-
about it, but they also added it to the movie.
Where did that come from? That's pretty conclusive.
I don't fucking know. Where do most of his videos arguments come from? Oh yeah, a lack of scripting and like fucking like retakes to like
organizing your thoughts.
like get your arguments and thoughts together. So just fucking rambling on about random nonsense.
Yeah, he probably could have had this video probably could have been better if like he scripted it. But I mean, we can still tear it apart
That
even
or
if it was
just
scripted. But
just
for the most part,
fucking
at least it's
practice.
organized.
I suppose, but it feels like he's rambling on every. And he goes on and like contradicts himself.
I mean, we'll give him some credit. At least it's like at around 30 minutes, because other YouTubers could probably just other YouTubers just often have ways of like just artificially extending their video for more than 10 minutes just so that they could have like their ad revenue.
Yeah, true. Still to make this video not a mess though.
Yeah, it's still a mess, but you know, at least he tried.
It's not
it's
the
best he
worst
could do.
video I've watched because Brown Tables exists.
It's the best he could do. Like as what Matt Garbage would say, it's the best he could do.
No, actually, no. I don't know what's worse. Brown Tables video, T.R.O. and Quentin's response to Rags, fucking Jack Saint's video. All of them are very just tism.
They're tism in their own
This is
special
more
way.
just
That's
yeah.
what matters.
I mean, this doesn't reach their level, but it's still
Why is
tism.
this active? What's picking up? Hello? Oh,
What's
okay.
what?
Nah, it's just I'm noticing like I'm on the Streamlabs thing. Anyway, let's continue.
Negative reaction that I'm having is admittedly that I expected this film to be something that it's not. I think that if I wasn't expecting this to be something that I'd absolutely love, I would have appreciated the parts that I could like a lot more. To me, all of the things holding this movie back are born from attempts to tick off boxes on a critical checklist of things that we've all just kind of agreed that a movie needs. But those needs are born from the biases of a group of people that doesn't represent what the entire movie-going population wants, and that sometimes is directly...
No, so the bias is stupid people who can't fucking understand
thing.
how a fucking movie works.
But here's the thing. That's a consensus. Eventually, it's like, yeah, people have different biases or different interests. But they all came at a point where it's like, yeah, I can agree that this is a necessity for a good story. Yeah, I can agree that this is a necessity for good visuals. Yeah, I can understand that this is a necessity for consistency.
It's almost like people care about good writing or something.
And eventually it reaches a point where it's not really biased, because it's like you have like certain elements where it's like you removed it from someone's bias, or to be specific, you have things or elements that no matter what bias it fits into, no matter what bias you look at it from, it still fits or it still hits that checklist. Just
opposed to that. Conventional filmmaking and storytelling wisdom says that we need a central, identifiable human character that we can latch onto. But does this movie?
No, it doesn't. It needs first off, you
just
have
needs a
basic story
fucking
elements
leading
have like a
character.
protagonist. Like
You
Zootopia.
don't need to focus on humans specifically. You just need a lead character to focus on.
Look at like Lion King. The protagonist is Simba, and he's not a human. He's a lion.
He's just a fucking drawing of a lion and a shitty CGI one who looks no different to fucking any of the others.
It's like,
Fuck you, Disney.
like, where did this human character argument come from? I've never heard
I don't
of this.
fucking know. It's Mom's basement we're talking about. He just fucking randomly thinks up random nonsense and just says, yeah.
Really
I just
need
followed it up,
to
so-
focus half of its runtime on Kyle Chandler's awkward and convoluted rocky divorce? Does it need to have a massive cast of wasted?
Oh, fuck. It reminded
needs a
me
good
of the whole
story.
fucking
It just
motivation, the shitty motivation of Emma. You want to know why she fucking just thought this whole, like, releasing all of the kaiju was a good idea?
Because she wanted
Because
to
her son died by a kaiju.
It's like you just, for a story to be good, you need to be able to make like a protagonist that the audience can understand, can empathize with.
I want characters with motivations that make fucking sense.
Yeah, or
I want characters
you also need
motivations that
progression,
make fucking sense.
and they also need to like
Yeah.
learn something out of like out of like their adventures. They need to gain something out of their adventures.
The fucking guy just goes from like, I hate Godzilla to, okay, maybe he's not all that bad, and that's it. And it's like no real progression.
He's still Godzilla. He still fights monsters.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he fights monsters and then rules over them for some fucking reason. Yeah, he's king of all monsters, but I'm pretty sure
Does he
he's
care?
like.
Does it? Because
I don't
if he doesn't
fucking know.
care,
I
it's
haven't
like
I haven't watched all that many older Godzilla movies. As far as I know, he just. What the fuck is that noise?
oh, that's background noise. Kitchen stuff. Okay.
Oh, it's really fucking annoying.
Sorry. Let me just set myself to push the talk.
But that's you? Wait, what's
No,
making it? Is it like a...
my dad.
Sounds more like audio issues. Like, something's like not plugged in
Fucking
properly.
Streamlabs not having like push to talk audio. Where? Oh, here it is.
Don't
Hotkeys.
you have Discord?
Yeah, I have. I mean, I have to set it like both Discord and the Streamlabs to push to talk. That way, the audience doesn't.
Oh.
Where's push to talk?
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to stay fully awake for this tonal video.
Anyway, let's continue on for now.
A and B list actors sitting on a soundstage explaining things that we should be able to intuitively grasp because the filmmaking is strong enough for it to be understood. The most powerful moments in this movie by far are Millie Bobby Brown.
It doesn't matter if you understand it enough. You can still understand the story and point out how it's stupid.
Exactly. Just because you understand it doesn't make it fucking good.
Brown's creation
how
of Adam
consistent
moment
it
with
is.
Mothra, and Ken Watanabe's communion with Godzilla in the massive irradiated underwater temple that he calls home. Is there not an interesting enough story in exploring man's relationship with these old gods instead of man's relationship with his bitch ex-wife and her terrible co-workers?
What a comparison!
Terrible
is
co-workers.
this?
Her co-workers are fucking dead.
What comparison is this?
I don't know what. What do you mean terrible co-workers? Her co-workers are fucking dead. They all got murdered in a...
Ah,
I think that there is. I think that that story could be
Kill
told
us, just kill-
simply and succinctly with mostly people going, oh fuck, there's a bunch of giant monsters fighting, and then we just see the giant monsters fighting, and that's it. That's all we need. There is a great, profound, moving, truly beautiful, and spectacular movie buried under a pretty good one here. That's why I'm mad, even though I think this movie will satisfy a lot of Godzilla fans. And the things that are burying that great movie are largely attempts to capitulate to a bunch of people who, surprise, don't seem to appreciate what it's going for anyway. There's this post from the Onion AV Club going around that says you can't just have 2.5 hours of giant monsters fighting each other like a WWE highlight reel. And my question is,
I mean, you fucking could. You just need to, like, set it up so that it makes sense why they're fighting and have motivations for doing it.
yeah. I mean, you don't. Why do you need? As long as the progression makes sense. As long as like the progression, you give the audience a reason to care.
Progresses properly, and the people who are watching care. Yeah, it's like, why are you tackling this tismic argument?
Give the
why
audience a
not?
reason to
Why
care.
do we have to staple that thing that there is clear value in, because that's what everybody watching this movie is paying to see? Why do we have to staple that to a plot that nobody seeing this cares about, that nobody making it gave a real shit about, that is...
And
How do you
people
know
could
that they
care
don't give a
about it,
shit
but
about
still
it? Why did
fucking
they
hate
add
it.
How do you know that the people who added this scene didn't give a shit about it? It's like if they didn't give a shit about it, they wouldn't have added it in the first place, would they? This makes no sense. This argument
All I
makes
know
no
is it's
sense.
fucking. Hang on a second.
And how do you know how do you concretely know? How do you know for sure
Honestly, I
that they didn't
don't.
give a rat's ass about it? It makes that argument in itself makes no sense.
This video makes no sense. I've stopped being annoyed, and now I'm just fucking confused and tired, and kind of don't care about.
Well, we're almost
Just
done.
spouting nonsense, inoffensive things that I kind of just.
This is dumb.
Like, I figured, like, at first I thought, oh, he's gonna go, like, the fucking. At first I thought it was gonna be like, no, guys, this movie all makes sense, but no, he's just like going, I didn't really like the human shit. I'm like,
what is this
okay.
video trying to
I don't
get
think
across?
anyone.
I don't understand.
I don't know.
what this video
Apparently,
is
it's trying to get across the value of spectacle, but it's just, he's just contradicting himself repeatedly, and I just gave up on this video. Part of me just wants to
It's
fucking
just there
do something else.
to satisfy arbitrary demands of what a film should be. I think that we've become too rigid in what does and doesn't make for a good movie or a.
I disagree. I really disagree.
Hang on, I missed that. I'm sorry. I'm like phasing out because I'm so fucking tired and sick of this video. Can you like come back a bit? I missed the argument.
Hold on.
Could be. I think that we've become too rigid in what does and doesn't make for a good movie or a good anime.
What the fuck
I-
do you mean
I
we've become
disagree
too
entirely.
rigid? Fuck off. If
I
anything,
disagree
standards have
entirely.
lowered at this point. People are like, no, guys, if it looks pretty
What
and
narrative
I
is
like it, and
this?
it's my sacred cow, then it's good. Who cares about the quality of a writing? Fuck this argument.
It's not like normal people are are that critical in the first place. It's like, no. Just no, I disagree with this
It's
statement.
so stupid. Fucking standards have lowered, if anything.
Ooh, just oof.
Anime or a good video game. I want to get away in the future from this language that I've been using a lot of this movie is good, this anime is good, this anime is bad. While I do
Why?
It doesn't
What-
matter
yeah,
if you
I
implicit.
don't care if you're tired of it. It's fucking used for a reason. I'm
Like-
sorry, but objectivity is so fucking scary and then boring to you.
Like, you still need to point out why something is good or why something is bad. It's like, yeah, I
Nah,
can
guys,
understand.
that requires effort. Fuck that. I want
I
to
can-
like say whatever I want and like I like this because I like it, and you can't tell me otherwise.
I can understand if, like, saying, oh, X is good, Y is bad, is stupid, on the premise that they don't bother explaining why X or Y is good or bad. But it's like, you can still use that as, like, a conclusion. Especially if you've pointed out, like, mechanics and how they work, and how they're executed, and how they affect the game. It's like, Jesus.
think that there are things that are good and bad at the same time. What's more interesting to me is how I react to it and how other people react to it. I really appreciate and love that so many of you guys seem to value my perspective on anime and film and games, and that you allow my
value-
perspective to inform your
Pause it
choices
again.
in what-
I don't
like-
value fucking perspective. I value an actual fucking assessment of its quality.
I
You
value
can talk
the
about
pro-
how you feel about it all you fucking want, but that's not here nor there. You talk about it in a separate fucking topic or video.
I value about your points made. I value about why you could consider something good or why you could consider something bad. It's like I take into consideration your arguments. I don't really care about you.
Not your fucking feelings.
I don't care about your fucking
should-
face.
Yeah. What's your fucking neck beard?
what you watch. And I understand the necessity of that, because there's so much content out there and it is so expensive to consume it all and so time consuming to consume it all that you need people to help you sort through it. But it's important to remember that my perspective is just my perspective, and it is inevitably going to differ from yours. Any critics will. All critics come to...
That's a fucking given. Like, that doesn't...
So I'm just looking at this. I don't know why. I think I'm just phasing out too much. I'm just looking at this one fucking spot on the top of his head. It looks like he's partially like got a receding hairline on one area of his head.
It's like, it doesn't...
I'm so fucking tired and disinterested in his arguments because he's not making any real ones.
It's like,
just
it doesn't matter if... that's a given. It's a given that you don't have to pay attention to... That critics' opinions don't really matter, per se. But if they make, like... You have to at least consider their points. That's the thing you have to take from, like, critics. It's like, yeah, it's just my opinion, guys. It's like, that's a fucking given. Point. You can still have an opinion, and it can still be a good point.
Oh, you like it? Great. Now make a real fucking argument.
God.
to this job from a range of dispositions that doesn't represent anywhere near the full scope of human thought and human experience. And while we can try to get outside of our own heads and understand what other people appreciate about art and understand other people's perspectives, we're ultimately limited by that. And how we present our limited perspective further colors our interpretations and further limits how we think. Again, that's a big part of why I tried to go off book and do this as an unscripted video. It's a big experiment, and I think I'm probably going to publish it to the channel no matter what, unless it's a complete disaster. But the...
Oh, well,
you really should have scripted this. Really
yeah, it looks like it was a complete disaster anyway, so too bad.
It's like, yeah, you should have taken the time to organize your thoughts.
He really should have, but he fucking didn't. He just said, fuck it. I'll just ramble on about stuff and contradict myself repeatedly and shit out a video. Do a bit of editing here and there, and bam. Isn't it great, guys? Whoa!
Oh, God. Yeah, this is
pinnacle.
This is why I script. This is why I use
what.
scripts. This is why I use scripts for my video, because it's like, yeah, I'm not really that good at public speaking.
I have to script because I just like, fuck. I just ramble on about shit, or sometimes I just get so fucking uninterested on something. I just ramble on about something else. Like, fuck, this video is fucking boring to me.
The other reason that I did this is that I'm kind of more interested in conversations where lots of people share their perspectives and talk back and forth and try to understand each other. And I think that this format is probably more conducive to that than an essay where I sort of argue my case at you. This is the case with all of my videos, but
a Discord chat would have been... If you wanted that, just make a Discord server. Make like a Discord server where you can have these discussions. Why do you make YouTube videos then?
You have to make a shitty YouTube video. Because talk to people.
Here's the thing. As much as I like YouTube videos, if you wanted a conversation, if you really wanted a conversation, Discord chat servers would have been much better. They're much more efficient for getting that discussion out rather than like a video. Because then people have to make responses to these videos. And then it's like you have to go out of your way to find these responses. Like, my God. Jesus.
Don't worry, Cad. We only have like 2 minutes and 23 seconds to go, and then we can escape this hell.
But I want to make it really clear here. This is a statement on how I perceive art and the discourse around it. I'm not saying that everybody watching this has to agree with me.
Yeah, right. Because we don't agree with you.
I don't. This is just my opinion,
your fucking
guys. You don't
thoughts on arts. Your fucking thoughts are stupid.
Yeah, your arguments don't hold up. You could have at least
Exactly.
made your arguments hold up.
Granted, I'm not currently in the best mood to like tear apart his arguments because I'm so fucking uninterested and bored by him.
It's like it doesn't
At least
matter.
you're here to actually like pull apart his stuff.
It doesn't matter if your arguments don't hold up or not. It's just
Oh
I mean,
my
no,
fucking
Sorry.
god!
I'm sorry. That came off wrong.
Shadow just Shadow just talked in the group. He literally said, "Fuck me, I misread the time. I thought it was PM, not AM."
Oh fuck.
Oh my
shit.
fucking god!
Oh shit.
Should we go? Should we like bring him in, or like should we like change the like fucking voice chat to the DM? Or
I mean, hold on. Do you still want to watch like the tonal video? We can just invite him over. But do you still want to watch like the tonal video?
I don't know,
after?
maybe either we watched the I don't know as I'm
I still
kind of
have-
like tired. Like either tonal video or just play something and just discuss as we play.
Because honestly, it's almost like noon for me, so I might have lunch after this video. So just tell.
Yeah.
Sorry, Shadow. Maybe next time. Like, watch the stream next time.
Yeah, maybe like we'll do like another fucking like stream where we just play and chat about stuff, or maybe we'll just chat and
thing
play
is-
something while
Because the thing is,
after the stream.
The thing is, I'll be streaming next week, Wednesday, but it's like I'm specifically streaming this new Filipino fighting game, and I want to and like the devs agreed with wanting to have the interview. So it's like it's a matter of like I still have to set up when I want the thing when we want the thing scheduled. So maybe like next week or something. Or
Do you
like,
want to just like after
we can also
this,
do like
we
Friday
can
evening
just,
if we
I don't know.
this coming Friday evening if you want.
Yeah, I mean we can stream then, but like, do you want to just like do something like after the stream and after lunch, and we just play something and have a chat like just on our own?
Maybe. Let's see how it plays out. Anyway,
Yeah, we'll work something out. I don't know.
we'll invite you next time, Shadow. Just
Well, Shadow, I don't even know if he's watching the video.
anyway, whatever. Let's go.
I want to further a conversation, not end it by telling you what to think. This has gone all over the place, but I really think that we should be placing more value on subjective, thrilling, breathtaking.
No.
No.
Just
no. No, you need.
when we're discussing something
you need the
analytically and
objectivity to
logically
give, like,
using
the
objectivity,
observations.
we do not use fucking subjective arguments.
You need to give like the
They
objective
do not have
assessment,
any place in an
and
objective
it will be
assessment.
up to the person for their subjective assessment. Like that's that's
Yeah,
kind
like
of the thing
for
with
fuck's
subjectivity.
sake. If you want to discuss how you fucking feel, go ahead, but don't put it in a place of objectivity.
Yeah.
They don't belong together.
Well, you sort of can mix it, but it's like it's really a matter of delivery. It's like how do you separate them? And also regarding
It's
like
literally the fucking names.
it's like regarding to also the thing where he said, I don't agree, you don't have to agree with me earlier. It's like, yeah, it's not a matter of whether or not
No fucking
You're-
shit. People don't have to agree with you.
like as long as your points are solid, it doesn't matter if people agree with you or not. It's like your points have to
Yeah,
have to make a solid argument.
solid.
It's like just because people
Video with it.
just because it's like it's inevitable for people to disagree with you, it doesn't mean that it's like you can just spout whatever you want. Like you have to make a solid point.
You have to put fucking effort into your argument. You can't just go, oh, well, it's just my opinion, so leave it.
Spectacles and experiences
God, please tell me
as
it's awesome.
something that is of value, distinct from the narrative backbone that holds it up. I don't know if I've conveyed that as well as I could if I had written all of this out, but I'm trying to capture a feeling here, and sometimes just writing things down and reading them out doesn't always encapsulate that.
Okay.
Well, the camera ran out of memory as I was talking, and I completely lost my train of thought, so I am just going to cap this.
Great fucking job, buddy. Takes a pretty fucking short camera lifespan, like a couple of minutes. Did you not check the fucking charge before you made this fucking video? What a fucking dumbass! Oh, camera battery ran out. Whoops! Uh-oh.
This is why I don't record myself. Because at least then I can just rely on gameplay footage to back up what I'm saying.
If only there was
Especially
some...
with reviews.
Yeah, like... Fuck this, man. I could make better content than this fucking guy. And I'm fucking terrible at editing videos.
This off here by asking you guys to do something for me. I would love it if you could let me know in the comments below what some of the most memorable and impactful images and spectacles in video games and anime and movies that you've experienced.
I clapped when I saw it!
Yeah, guys. It's beautiful. Don't you want to clap?
I actually can't clap if it's VC since it's push to talk. Fuck.
Have been, and I would love to know, if you feel up to it, what you think made those hit you as hard as they did, because that is really something that I don't think.
Well, Kat already did mention something like that, so we don't have to fucking do this.
And it's like, yeah, I'm not giving him like the comment. It's like, we all know.
Well, you already technically did leave a comment on something that was impactful to you.
Not in his video, at
and
least. Not in his
video.
video.
And like,
I'm talking about like how.
Yeah, well,
because the thing is, when the more comments you have in like that video, the more it's.
Yeah, it's literally. I think he's doing this just to get up in the algorithm. In all honesty.
Yeah. And it's like the comments. It's like, yeah, my videos. It's like, yeah, the comments are there. It's just, it'd be nice if you could at least comment on just what I can do to improve my work. That's about it. Or it's like if my points are wrong, stuff like that. That's all that matters to me.
I'd probably try to make content at some point. I don't know. Right now, I'm just focusing on like. I'll talk about this later after the stream.
Anyway, let's finish this.
I think we discuss enough. I think it's something that we don't take enough time to.
Shill based. Well, got him.
Shill based.
Oh, based one. Oh my god, that's amazing. That's perfect.
Oh my god.
Holy shit. Okay.
While it is difficult for one person to put into words, if we all try, I think it might help to crystallize some of that. I appreciate you sticking with me through this experiment. I would also appreciate you letting me know if you thought it was any good or not. And while you're down,
I thought it was shit. Don't ever do this again, Mother's
Fuck off,
Case.
Shill based, Waller.
I'm sorry, Joff. This is terrible.
You're welcome, said
Work on it, at least. Just work on it. There's a lot to improve on this. Especially your argumentation.
It's fucking scripted videos.
It's really poor. Just, no. Don't do this. Or at least improve on it first.
Down there, if you want to see more videos that I promise will be mostly scripted in the future, including a review of SAO.
You know what you can do? You know what you can actually do?
Cannot wait.
You can, like, record this video. You can record your video, edit it a bit, and then share it with friends via stuff like Google Drive. And then you get, like, output from it. Maybe you could get some
and
feedback
like get
from
some
it.
criticism and then work on it further from that.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. But that would require effort from Shill-based Waller.
And it's
So
like, it's the internet. And it's like, you can spread this out to other communities that you're in. Especially, like, say, on Discord. Like, I just share my Google Drive link to other servers that I'm in. And then I just wait for feedback.
Makes sense, I suppose. Sorry, I'm very fucking. The only like amount of life I got was from the Shill-based Waller.
Anyway, let's finish this.
I'm just like
It is
really
coming out
fucking.
very soon, and I think is pretty entertaining. But I'll leave you. To
Oh, thank fucking
for
God, it's
yourself.
over.
Comes out. Hit
Yay!
the subscribe button and ring the.
No,
Yay!
fuck you! I'm not subscribing or ringing.
Hit the subscribe button. It's free. Hit the notification buttons. It's free.
All right.
Remove your ad block. Remove your ad block. It's free. Subscribe. Donate to
fucking
Patreon.
die.
It's free.
It's free.
So, overall thoughts on the video?
I hated it.
Yeah, I agree too.
I just got like I just got so fucking sick of it by like the 3/4 point. I missed a lot. Just watch it when the fucking VOD comes up. Shadow.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think that's it for now because
We've
it's
been
like,
going for like 2 hours.
well, it's not really that. It's not really that it's 2 hours. I could still sort of go on, but it's like it's almost lunchtime for me. So
Yeah, well, it's
I'm gonna have
like
to
I'm just
eat-
like
I'm
fucking
gonna be
tired.
eating out
Plus,
soon. Or I'm gonna be eating soon
head off.
anyway.
Yeah,
So
makes sense. Well, hope you
So
guys
to-
enjoyed that Tizzy video.
yeah, and chat if there's anyone who's still watching, who's still like waiting for like my new videos. I'm still working on like my Devil May Cry 5 video, so and I can't really say when it's coming out because like there's a lot of stuff I need to do. But hopefully it comes out. So
At least you're making content more frequently than Fringy.
anyway, I guess until then, well, we might try to do something on Friday. I'm not sure.
Who knows? Just
yeah.
it then after lunch, maybe. I don't know.
Anyway, that's it for now. So just bye, guys. See you next time, I guess.
Yep, talk to you.